Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. We have new Marvel Champions. A new article has dropped. We are going to be talking about Wonderman. I am here with Villain Theory. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling wonderful. I feel like that's kind of the thing that we're going to be getting today.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful Wonderman. Absolutely. It was kind of interesting because this is the first time that I believe that we have seen FFG confirm the release of an article before Thursday. I saw Reddit, Olivia posted on Reddit yesterday that they were going to be releasing an article. So we were able to kind of be ready and dive right in.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy for that. We've got little hints before, but this was good.
Yeah. So I have not seen really anything about Wonder Man. I have looked at the art to create the thumbnail. I blurred my eyes when I put the hero card on the thumbnail. I know the stat line, but nothing else about it. And I think you said that you saw a slight spoiler that we may get to pretty quickly in the stream.
I don't know anything about the stat line or anything, but I saw one line on Discord which really excited me because other characters which have kind of had this tend to be among my favorites. Is all I will
Okay.
say. It's a little hint for you, but I think we'll see it pretty quick.
Okay. That's that's enticing for sure. Now, I have no knowledge of the lore of Wonder Man, who I just learned is Simon Williams. That's how much I know about Wonder Man, right? Like I just learned his alter ego name. But you said that you saw him show up in the Civil War comics that you are reading. Any teasers? Are there any fun facts about Wonder Man that you want to share before we dive into the mechanics of it?
Yeah, I'm not a big Wonder Man expert, but in some ways, Marvel won't like me saying this, but I think he's a bit, got an air of discount Superman. Like he flies, he's really strong, but he's got some energy kind of stuff going on. I think he's like almost made of energy or has like energy shenanigans going on. And I believe in Civil War in the the comics from like 2005ish. I think he's typically more like registration, but I don't think he's super happy about it. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
No, yeah. That's fair. I always got Wonder Man and Sentry confused whenever I was playing the comics, whenever I was playing the game because I don't know anything about any of them. But I did finally watch Thunderbolts, so I do have that on my belt. So I know a little bit more about Sentry. But
Gotcha.
I feel like their power sets always felt adjacent in my mind.
They fly and they're strong. That's definitely
Yep.
shared qualities. I have to say, I've got the article up. I don't know what the viewers are seeing right now, but like the first image, like the big artwork, I kind of love it.
Yeah, it feels like the supersonic punch from the Iron Man art. That's kind of what I'm getting from the. Are you talking about the first image or like the top
I've
image where he's like
I've brought up the stream
disintegrating?
now, so yeah, the main image you've got on the screen here, which is like fist forward flying. I think that looks really dynamic and like the colors pop. I really like this art a lot.
Yeah, the colors give me a Nightcrawler vibe, which I was in love with
Mm.
the aesthetic that Nightcrawler brought with like the hero art and colors and everything. And I feel like we're getting something very similar here, almost a Psylocke as well, with like the Psy energy with the Psy knives. It looks like he has Psy fist. Is kind of what I what I'm seeing.
So my knowledge is Ionic, not psionic. Pretty close.
Ah, okay, okay, nice. Nice. We got chat talking about we don't know a thing about the character, but the design is really cool. So that's exciting. I am pumped. Wonder Man is a character that feels underdeserved in the comics. Nice. Yeah, I know nothing about Wonder Man. But let's dive in and look at this new hero. So Simon Williams, the former industrial rival of Tony Stark. That's kind of funny because with me calling this out as being very akin to the supersonic punch from the Tony set, it's kind of funny to see that be the first line. I That's probably a happy coincidence, but I'm gonna give this one to FFG and say good job. That's a nice touch. Um, First got his powers for agreeing to undergo an experiment crafted by the Masters of Evil. Oh, that's tough. After meeting
Yep.
and subsequently being defeated by the Avengers, he changed his ways and became a constant part time member of the team as the flashy hero, Wonder Man. So we got
I
the.
think he was like I think he was like losing his business to Tony or something, or like something wasn't right, and he like went to desperate measures and got his powers in like a very unfortunate way.
I gotcha. Okay. Okay. Um, interesting. The other thing I want to talk about real quick before we dive in, Villain Theory called out the packaging up here in the top right. The packaging does look like this will be one of them that they put in the new style packaging that they announced, which is more of a cardboard and kind of foregoing all the plastic. And so that's nice. It looks like that's kind of what that design is going to be. So cool, nice.
Yeah.
Um, as a superhuman movie star, there you go, comfortable on the silver screen and on the battlefield, Wonder Man blasts into the fray with this expansion pack. Alrighty, so yeah, yeah,
What I noticed here,
yeah. What's up?
the next part of this sentence you didn't read says he has 16 signature cards, which is pretty rare.
Oh, yeah. So like we got Valkyrie with 16, we've got Vision with 16. Spectrum, I think, has 18, but like most of the time they're like permanent cards, correct? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm
So
wondering.
it'll either be set aside or permanent. It probably.
Yeah, I'm curious what we're gonna see there. Same with Psylocke, very similar Psylocke vibe as well because Psylocke has the
Mm.
17, gets to put one down, and then the color scheme here also gives me Psylocke with that blue on the cards. Um,
Oh yeah, that's true.
So we've seen quite the variety of powers throughout the ever-growing roster of playable heroes, but even among his peers, Wonder Man stands out as truly unique. Okay, and this is the Simon Williams art here on the alter ego, which we can read, but I'm going to pull that up. That is the art that was in the silhouette. I'm sorry, in the Civil War article that was dropped. We were kind of wondering what that would be. I think if I'm not mistaken, I thought we kind of thought that was Hercules, or was that a different one? That was the one with
I think that's the next
the
one
trophy.
over. Yeah.
Alrighty, so Simon Williams, what are we looking at on our alter ego side here, villain?
I'm excited because I read like 2 lines ahead. I'm so sorry. Simon Williams, free recovery, civilian trait in Ultrigo,
Mm.
and then his ability to start with is Ionic Energy Being. You may include events with a printed energy resource icon from any aspect in your deck. This is what I've been softly spoiled about. I knew he was multi-aspect, but I didn't know how. So any energy events is really, really, really unique. So I'm so curious how that's going to play out, what kind of decks we can build. Then he's got a setup which says put Ionic Physiology into play, but I don't know what that card does. But
And
the
at this
deck
point, I
building
don't know if
here,
I care.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like the deck building, I might just quietly bust open like every event
I'm
for
pulling it
energy
up
resource on
right
another
now.
tab.
I'm pulling it up right now. I got you, man. I got you. Um, oh my gosh, that is really interesting. Any of them that like kind of jump out to you in your mind? I'm specifically thinking of Pool because like we saw with Gamora once Pool was printed, we
Oh
got a lot of like
yeah.
really good Pool cards that she can include and not need to include kind of like the aspect like the Crisis of Infinite Deadpools.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna be real. Like, unless he's got some weird bad eye kind of stuff going on, the energies in pool are looking kind of not so great. But I
okay.
know protection has a ton of energies.
Mm.
Isn't repurpose, one of my favorite cards, energy. So you can now repurpose different. Like, you could be like maybe an
Oh,
aggression repurpose deck or something like that. Immediately springs to mind. I don't know if that works with him, but that's a card I always love.
that is fascinating. Having a repurpose your hand cannons, your sonic rifles, everything. Okay, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
switch over, and I got the lightning resource events, which we have a ton of them. We have what 75 of them, but just to pull some of them out, just like I don't know if any of these grab your attention, but this is kind of fascinating, and I assume that we're gonna probably get something for physical and mental going forward as well.
that would be crazy. I mean, okay, I'm gonna watch this through the stream because I went the lazy way to find them. I mean, there's so many good ones. I mean, just for justice, there being able to have that in a protection deck. I don't know what his fording is like, but that's just so convenient. Um, what is he? He's Avenger traded. I wonder if that would be relevant. It's Master Courage energy, maybe. for some expert, especially multiplayer shenanigans. Homeland intervention. I wonder if you could do like a shield stuff in aggression with target spotter, that kind of thing. Or
Mm.
leadership. There's a lot of shield stuff. There's gonna be a lot of potential. I mean, I just love one by one. I think that's an underrated aggression card, particularly for like 2 player and up. So being able to take that's kind of fun. We'll have to see what else he wants, but there's so much good stuff here.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave this open because I feel like we're gonna be bouncing back to this page as the stream
Mm.
continues, just to kind of see what we can do. But I mean, like even just like Defiance, right? Just running Defiance, just getting rid of boost cards in some of these nastier scenarios is nice. We got I got this, which is one in pool, which break time.
Yeah,
GG. We're
yeah.
good.
Well, I mean, if he's got high health, that could actually be a good option. I haven't looked at his health yet. I think I stopped reading when I saw like he was multi-aspect. He has 12 hit points and a hand size of 6. That's been finally finishing reading that alter ego card.
Nice. Nice. We do have confirmation from the chat that he does start with aerial, and so a lot of the aerial events 1-2 punch board is saying makes pretty interesting,
Oh,
like a yaw and roll. I think it's a really efficient event, especially if you start with that printed aerial. Whenever you thwart, you can spend 1 to remove 3 threat from his scheme, which is very efficient thwarting. So
yeah, I like that a lot.
yeah. Okay. I'm intrigued. Let's hop back over to the article, but this is going to be something that I'm going to sink my teeth into for sure. Ionic physiology into play. Let's go ahead and see what that is. This is a permanent superpower. You can have a max of 3 tucked cards here. It is an
Oh, the touch
upgrade.
mechanic.
The tucked mechanic is back. After you
Mm,
play an event with a printed lightning resource, tuck that event from your discard pile under this card, then you heal 1 damage from your identity.
okay. I like this a lot. I don't know how you feel, but I feel like the tucked stuff we've seen has mostly, the Raft, Gambit, Silk, been tucking like encounter cards, tucking player cards, particularly your own as well, obviously. Very, very interesting.
I will be curious how he interacts with these tuck cards. I assume they're just not out of the game, right? Because that would be what I would consider a bad effect. But I'm thinking that there's going to be some way to maybe recur these or to use these or something along those lines, similar to what we were seeing with Silk. But it's interesting. It is nice that you get to heal a damage here, especially with the lower recovery value that we see on his alter ego of 3. So it's going to be nice to have some some little bit of healing. You do have a
Yeah, an
max of
energy character.
yeah.
I was just gonna say an energy character that can heal for 1 sometimes kind of reminds me a little bit of Captain Marvel. And they both fly around and are really strong, so we're,
Yep.
we're on theme.
Yep. And I'm guessing that this is the 16th card. Or I guess it's the first, but it is the what pushes him into the 16th hero
Yeah,
card.
almost certainly.
Alrighty, so that's Ionic Physiology. How are we going to interact with this Wonderman? I'm pulling up the art, and again, one of my favorite things that they do is have this dimensionalization of the art where like his fist is coming in front of his text box, his energy, his ionic energy, not psionic, is kind of coming over his nameplate and everything. I just like how that gives almost like a depth to the card. But tell me about Wonderman, villain.
Okay, he's got 2 forwarding, 1 attack, 2 defense. He's an aerial, as chat said. He's an Avenger. Still getting new Avenger heroes like announced. Still feels really fun and fresh to me. But his ability here, power recycling. Wonderman gets +1 attack for each card tucked under Ionic Physiology. So you play 3 energy events. He has an attack stat of 4, I believe,
Yeah.
which is really quite something. And the energy event you play presumably will be perfectly efficient and heal you for 1 when it gets tugged.
Hmm.
So you're just playing good energy events, and suddenly you end up with 4 attack. Is kind of my first impression here. I've got to read the force response here though. After he makes a basic attack, discard each card under Ionic Physiology. That brings it back down from like crazy to very, very reasonable. But you still play an energy. Basically, you play an energy event, you get 1 healing, and then you bank +1 to your basic attack. Is kind of how this reads.
Yeah, which is not Not bad at all, right? Like you're getting an additional damage at some point as well as a healing on every single energy icon that you play, which is pretty cool. I'm curious if we're going to see specific hero events that benefit off of being tucked or something like that. I'm curious
Mm.
if there's any manipulation that you can do with your deck, making sure that you're not basic attacking, saving some of these until after a reshuffle. Maybe you have some setup events or events that are less um, powerful for the situation that you're in, and you can kind of hide those and get them out of the reshuffle. Um,
Yeah, my brain was going here is to not basic attack, but use events which use your basic attack
yes.
stat like quick strike and all that stuff. Smash the problem.
Oh, I love it.
Maybe like a brute force kind of
Yeah.
that kind of like kind of a niche, weird, kind of almost a gimmick build, but quite fun. Kind of seems like he might be set up for that, but we'll have to see what his other cards kind of push him toward.
That is really cool. Let's bring back Quick Strike. Quick Strike is a physical, I believe. So you can't run that outside of aggression, but I'm pretty sure it's a physical resource.
Yeah, Smash the Problem is a mentor. There's a couple more. There's an X-Men one, which is energy, but with honorary X-Men, you could use Team Strike.
Mm,
The best defense is a physical. So far, this looks like maybe an aggression only kind of plan, but we'll see what he's got. He comes with a. I think it said. I don't know if we've read this out yet, but I'm pretty sure at the top it says he comes with a Justice deck.
okay.
So I'm curious to see what Justice might have with energy shenanigans.
Yeah, because I typically associate energy with protection. We do have chat
Yeah.
saying how like if you play repurpose with the lightning resource, you're getting an additional attack if you do choose attack for like the stat boost. So you
Mhm.
repurpose an energy barrier. Now you're getting +3 attack because you tuck that
Yeah.
repurpose. So that's kind of interesting.
I
Um,
like that.
I could see events that profit off using his basic attack, but you probably lose out on healing in that case unless there's another way to discard cards. I have to assume there's another way to discard some cards that it feels like such a central core mechanic that we're probably going to see more ways to interact with that mechanic.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't think I finished reading out the card. He's got a 5 hand size like normal, but otherwise very very interactive identity so far. I feel like this strikes me as like so many different deck builds, but also interesting like sequencing about how you want to do things. Okay, I want to attack this enemy, but maybe I need to boost my attack. I'll play this event first, but maybe it's better if I attack before that event. If for some other reason you got to weigh it up, I don't know. But it definitely feels very very good, very promising, and I think I would say this surpassed my expectations. What I thought Wonderman might be.
Yeah. I'm interested to see the rest of his kit because yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we can interact with some of those tucked cards. And naturally, you want to include as many cards with that resource type in your deck as possible. Thankfully, Simon Williams' status as an ionic energy being allows you to include events with printed energy. Yeah. Granting Wonderman access to a surplus of energy resources means that he can use them to pay for signature events. Okay. Each of which have a special kicker that triggers when you overpay for them with energy.
Ooh.
Okay. So we have the first card, Active Altruism. This is a zero cost event, lightning resource printed. It's a thwart event. Remove one threat from a scheme. Then you can remove two additional threat from that scheme for each lightning resource you overpaid for this card to a maximum of 2 lightning. So if you spend 1 lightning to pay for this card, you're removing 3. If you spend 2 lightning to pay for this card, you're removing 5 threat. So 2 for 5 is a really decent, efficient thwart there. And the fact that
Yeah.
it's efficient and flexible means that this is going to be an incredibly powerful card. Because also
I
you
was
get
gonna
a
say
plus
that
1 attack and a heal. So
I mean, you've got 3 options here, right? You've got 1 threat removed, 3 threat removed, or 5 threat removed. So it's that flexibility feels extremely good because like a 1 costs 40 card that removes 3 threat is perfect for player side schemes in solo play. But you boost it up to 5. Now you've got like an Overwatch kind of candidate here for multiplayer.
yep.
Take out anything big you need, clear the main scheme. This card feels very very good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've got much else to say about it except this seems excellent. in all respects.
Yeah, the flexibility. Typically, I would assume that we would see some loss of efficiency. Like you see, like I think it's 3 steps ahead,
Vis-
right?
mm,
You're overpaying for flexibility, whereas here it's good. It's just good.
yeah. I mean, I quite like 3 steps ahead, but I think I like
Hmm.
this maybe more. This reminds me a bit like of Psylocke's. We bring up Psylocke a
Yeah.
few times here. This reminds me of what Psylocke does with her threat removal card. Because depending on the combination of your weapons being on what side, you've got like 3 or 4 different kind of like three different combinations as well of outcome. Um, and though she pays the same amount each time, it turns into card draw with her one, so it kind of does refund it. So you have like the choice of cost kind of like this. So um, I like this. I like this significantly.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I hope that we follow kind of the same format for some of our other cards. So that's active altruism. And Ionic Blast. My guess is that we're going to see an attack card here. I don't know. Ionic Blast feels very attacky to me, but what are we doing with Ionic Blast?
Okay, so this card is a 1 cost event. It has the superpower trait as well as attack. It is definitely an attack. I see. I think that's Wasp in the R alongside him. Hero action attack. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. Deal 2 additional damage to the enemy for each energy resource you overpaid for this card to a maximum of 3 energies. I need to stop this for 1 second to say, we talked about Iron Man quite a lot at the beginning, but Iron Man is one of the maybe the only other really, really, I guess Captain Marvel, I guess Thor. Okay, but definitely Iron Man is a very energy focused hero. And the more energies he manages to discard with his, is it Repulsor Blast? The more
Hmm.
damage he gets. Here it's the more you overpay, the more damage you get. So for a 1 cost event, dealing 3 damage, I already think this is fine. I already think this is very
Yeah,
playable, particularly with superpower. 2 additional damage. So like, what's this at the maximum? Four. It's like a
9.
4 cost event, 5 effective resource for 9. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Um, I think this seems good. I feel like this seems less good than the threat removal one, but still very, very good, very usable. Like the flexibility, I think is going to be like its biggest strength.
Hmm. Yeah, being able to determine exactly how much you're going to use is nice. I like the fact that this is superpower traded, so you can def focus and then spend your energy resources to actually do the additional damage, and so you can discount the initial cost of the card, because a 1 for 3 is it's
It's
okay.
it's not it's not great by hero card standards typically, but by aspect cards, I feel like it's pretty competitive.
Yeah, but then like every single time you spend a lightning resource on top of that, you're getting kind of the perfect efficiency that we're looking for, 2 damage per resource spent. So like just being able to divvy that up, and you see it with like Yarnborn or Plan B, like 1 resource for 2 damage is very similar. This is also lightning um resourced. I'm assuming we're going to see almost exclusively lightning resourced in here. But yeah,
Yeah.
I also like, I guess like he is an Avenger, and like any Avenger is gonna want it, but Quinn Carrier is another way to kind of hit one of these lightnings very easily because it creates that wild.
Yeah. I was just thinking, it's not like an aspect card, so you're not like breaking out of the deck building norms. But Earth Smite's Heroes, I think, is energy,
Mm-hmm.
good for Avengers, and that
Mm-hmm.
could be kind of fun. You could like fort for 2, play it, then you can attack for a boosted amount, kind of thing. Uh, yeah, I already feel like we have so many ideas coming like to the
Yeah,
start of
right.
this.
Right.
It's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Okay, yeah. So you could spend effectively a 5 effective resource for 9 damage at its maximum. That feels
Yeah.
decent. Okay.
Hmm.
So also, I think with the first two and kind of the gimmick or the shtick that Wonderman has, we may have one of the lowest cost curves in the game here. Now it's a phantom cost curve because you're overpaying for everything, and like, but I'm curious if we're just gonna see like 0 and 1 cost cards throughout his entire kit.
I mean, you say it's a phantom cost curve, but you still get pretty decent effect
That's true.
without spending hugely on it. So it's going to let him be really flexible with that hand size, like a low cost curve hero. So I think it's a very valid point, actually.
And Metascrub in the chat calls out that they're getting Nova vibes, which is something that I do get from Nova as well. Like with like lower cost cards, kind of
Hmm.
play a lot of cards, and it feels like Wonderman can do that. With the other thwarting event costing 0, which is active altruism, as well as Ionic Blast being the attack event, I'm wondering if we see like warrior skill or something like that be not warrior skill. What am I thinking of? Test the defense, where you can just rapidly play a
Ah.
ton of attack events and then build up counters and then do damage. And so it's something that we've seen in a lot of like Nova builds where you're playing 5 attack events and you get to deal 5 additional damage. Whereas like maybe you lean into like not overpaying but playing a lot of events. That could be another interesting way to build Wonderman.
Yeah, well, you know what's interesting is that get over here, the 0 cost attack, which benefits you being aerial because you
Hmm.
get to engage the minion, which could have shenanigans. Uh, that is a energy. Actually, bombs away is an energy, so you
Nice.
could pull minions to you in multiplayer, and then like bombs away, kind of wipe them out. So that's kind of a combo, and you can pull that off in any aspect because those are energy resources. I was gonna say 1 by 1, which I shouted out earlier, another energy resource, 1 cost attack. So you could potentially. I was a little bit skeptical when you mentioned tested defense for him, but actually, I think that has a ton of potential. Isn't Turn the Tide a 0 cost
Turn the
energy
Tide
attack?
is a yes. And if we are going to be,
Right.
I mean, active altruism means that you're clearing schemes. So if you're running, test the defense, turn the tide, active altruism, like yeah, if you're running aggression, you can pull in, turn the tide. You have a lot of damage there with active altruism, clearing pretty much
Mm.
any scheme in at least true solo.
This is feeling really good to me. I feel like I'm not trying to defend very much, unless it turns out here's something good for defending that we haven't seen yet. But I'm taking a hit from the villain. I'm playing a bunch of energy stuff and healing it up. And then maybe I've charged up test the defense. Then I can like basic attack him in the face. It just feels like there's going to be a lot of sequencing here, maybe like Nova, and a lot of fun results from doing that well.
Yeah, okay, so I want to take a look at the card count. So active altruism is card 2, and then Ionic Blast is card 5. So I think there is a chance that we get 3 copies of active
Yes.
altruism. That's
I think
wild.
that's guaranteed. That's guaranteed. The little number at the bottom is free for active altruism and 4 for Ionic Blast, which means there's no unique card design between them. So unless they decided to show the second Ionic Blast, which they never really do.
I would love it if they
um,
did. That would be amazing though. They just like troll us so hard.
I think the only time they've done that is when the card has the same name but different resource icons, like Jubilee's
Got
resources.
it. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they're going to be energies for this guy. So 3 really good forwarding cards is a very good sign,
Yeah.
particularly for solo play, getting those really efficient forwarding cards in any aspect. Although with his deck building, he can kind of do that as well. So solo players feels like a good hero.
Feels like a very good hero. And with having 3 of those, I'm pretty sure I can see myself basic attacking a lot to clear out my
Hmm.
ionic physiology because it does have a maximum of 3. And so going back to what you were saying, take a hit, play a lot of lightning events and just heal up all the damage that I just took, attack, clear, just do the same thing next turn and you're just getting all the benefits plus 1 attack and healing from the lightning events. Yeah, it seems like a fun hero to build around.
Yeah, I feel like if you get like 2 energy events off per turn, you're starting to get like just good value from his just identity, like just base value, and then being able to have those energy events from any aspect is like a strength because you've got that versatility or extra options, and it just seems fun. It just seems really really fun. So
Yeah.
I'm curious what else he's got.
Both scale their effects with the amount of energy resources you use to pay for them. This is Ionic Blast and Active Altruism. While Starstruck, what is Starstruck doing? He's got some
That is a one
biceps.
cost. He does have some biceps.
Oh,
Not to be confused with Siceps, but this is a 1 cost event, attack trait. So you've got another attack, superpower again, hero action attack, deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. This is kind of the first sentence is basically quick strike. If you overpaid for this with an energy resource, stun that enemy.
mm,
This feels like a very good card.
yes. This is, I mean, like even if you're doing 1 damage, or like just like you have a basic attack stat of 1, if you like def focus this and spend a Quinn carrier, you're stunning for a card. And like I mean like
Mm.
it's not the best, but then you're getting +1 attack, +1 heal. on top of all of that. So at a one cost, I'm overpaying for this. Stunning the enemy is really good. Yeah.
There's layers to this card. I mean, I feel like if I've got 2 tactic cards, aka, if I'm at free attack, I feel like this is just efficient. It's not
Hmm.
like the best for a hero card, but it's still fine. It's still very playable. If I have the maximum amount tucked free cards, I'm at 4 attack. This is just efficient, but it's death focusable. But if I
Yeah.
have combat training, maybe new card aggressive conditioning, or
Mm.
what, I've repurposed or I've stacked those because I can bring repurpose and aggression. I can have this one cost card hit like an absolute truck, which feels very good. And it's just so interactive with the aspect pool, deck building pool.
Yeah. 1-2 punch board brings up a fantastic point as well, is that like even against steady stalwart villains, you don't have to overpay. And so if you are
Oh,
hitting at like a 3 or a 4 attack, really efficient and a really good card that you're not losing efficiency on.
I was barely thinking about the stun, and I think that's a really good point because there's a lot of old heroes. We actually on the table beside me, we literally the last game we played was Mars Morales against Enchantress on Expert, and she had steady, and she ended up getting stalwart from her thing. And some of his events they were still good, but lost value. That's a great point. That just choose not to do it, and it's still a great card. Very cool. I kind
Yeah.
of like that design space in general,
Mhm.
not just
Mhm.
as a strength.
Yeah, and I like how we're not like it's again, we're getting a lot of flexibility in Wonderman without sacrificing efficiency, which makes me think that he's going to be
Mm,
a fairly strong hero. Um especially like
I
with his
think so.
low cost curve. So the Ionic Blast was card 5, Starstruck is 7, meaning that we're probably getting 2 copies of Ionic Blast. I don't know how many copies of Starstruck, but I'm going to go ahead and agree with Mike. I think we are going to run Def Focus in here. Usually I want to see a lot of superpowers, but just being able to have it so that I can overpay makes me really like Def Focus because I don't necessarily see myself not playing Starstruck or Ionic Blast whenever I pull it.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing about Death Focus is it's an energy resource, so if you don't want to put it down on the board, you can use it to help overpay for stuff. So that gets extra value here that we've not really seen before on too many characters. I guess 4 likes Death Focus and energies, but yeah, I think that's a great point.
That's really fun. Okay, so that is Starstruck can stun an enemy as long as you overpay it by at least 1 energy. These events combo well with this signature resource card called Energy Siphon.
Oh,
I love signature resource cards. I like
yep.
just new resource. Also, him being a civilian, we have the resource card Everyday Hero, which I think is absolutely in play now, right? Like that's one of the more OP resource cards.
I mean, I think it's one of the weaker resource cards,
Nah.
but but I mean, it's an option.
It's
It does help heal his identity without having to defend. So it kind of does synergize with him. Like heal by playing some events. I flip down, I spend everyday hero to play an ally or something. I heal up a little bit more. I think it's kind of not the worst thing actually. I think it's kind of interesting.
it's it's probably pretty bad. Um,
Yeah, let's stick with energy siphon.
Energy Siphon, which is a lightning resource card. Hero Interrupt. When you spin this card, take up to 3 damage. This card generates 1 additional lightning resource for each damage taken that way. That's bananas. You can, oh my gosh. So this
Nice.
could be a 4 card. This could be a 4 resource card.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the situation, the villain, all these different factors, how much you factor in taking damage as a downside does vary. But I traditionally feel like, clarity of purpose is a damage for a resource. I typically feel like I'm getting half a resource of value, and that other half disappears because of the cost. But
Hmm.
it's situational. This would be really useful for setting up. Like turn one, boom, I use this to play Avengers Mansion.
Yeah.
I'll take some damage. I'm good. And he starts with 12 hit points. So it's
Yeah.
not like he's like X23 and doesn't have as much to play with. Not that she has big problems with that, but she doesn't take 4 immediately. Well, 3 immediately. Um, I like this card so much, and if you're at full health, you won't be benefiting from the Ionic Physiology permanent card, right? The healing from it.
Hmm.
So this can kind of set you up to start benefiting and getting healing when maybe you wouldn't. If you were at full health, Captain Marvel has that sometimes. Like often turn 1 in hero form, she can't use her ability because she has to be able to heal. So that's kind of cool.
But what I like
But
about
this is
this is
good.
that because it's the interrupt, this is pretty much always going to be a double for me because if I'm paying for an event, I'm healing the first damage that I'm taking, assuming that
Hmm.
my Ionic physiology is not full up.
Yeah, I'm looking at the number of this card. The unique number is 6. The previous card number, Starstruck, is 5, which means we have 7, 8, 3 copies of Starstruck, is what it looks like to me.
Really? Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. So maybe taking damage is not going to be something Wonderman really has to be worried about if he's stunning 3 times a deck pass.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good and flexible right now because even this card is so flexible, it could just be a single energy if I need it to be,
Mm-hmm.
which is very good.
Yep, single energy, or it could be 1 card, 3 damage, and you can get the full damage output of Ionic Blast, right? Because you're paying 4 for the Ionic Blast, and you get to deal 9 damage for 3 damage to you.
That's such a good point. So if you're also playing like active altruism, you can choose how much you want.
Yeah.
This one card alone. So these are you have like your resource card and one of your events in hand, and you immediately have like 3 or 4 different options of what you do with it, how much you do with it, which feels like a lot of. I feel like we're overusing the word flexibility, but I don't know if this is precedented in this way before this character.
I feel like Wonderman is giving us the go ahead to use flexibility as much as we want. That's how incredibly flexible he seems. 1-2 Punchboard has a fun point saying that from a lore perspective, Beast and Wonderman are best friends. So if you go leadership, Beast recurring his energy
Ah.
siphon seems really cool. You can also just pay for Beast using an energy siphon, taking 3 damage, recurring energy siphon, and doing it again. And you could probably like just knock your own hero out by yourself if you wanted to. That seems kind of cool.
I don't know if I want to knock my own hero out, but I think that general gist of that, like recurring massive energy,
Mm-hmm.
you could just use that for like huge burst damage to end the game. If you've got like 7 hit points, I take 3 damage twice, win the game. That's fine. Seems good to me. It just that definitely feels like there's so much potential.
The
Yeah.
the last thing that I want to talk about until I think of something else to talk about this card, because I'm fascinated by this design. I think that this is really interesting. I'm hoping that we get a couple of these at least because that'd be a lot of fun. 1, I love the art, but 2, I want to run this in a multiplayer game with resource reserve because there's a lot of heroes out there that can spend this card using resource reserve now because you can pass out those resources like so Hulk or
Yeah.
Spider Ham or things like that where you can actually get one. Maybe you don't care about taking damage as much when you have 18 health as like Hulk, but if you spend this with Spider Ham and you take 1 damage, now you're generating a double lightning and then also a tomb counter because you took some damage. So there are going to be some fun like multiplayer interactions here as well, I think.
Yeah, I really like that. Resource reserve is a card that sometimes it's a bit slow and doesn't feel like it does a lot. Other times it's really nice to pass out those resources. But when you get that extra value, yeah, really liking that. Very cool idea.
Nice. Alrighty, I'm really excited about Wonderman so far.
Hmm.
Trade a bit of health for some extra energy resources. Since Ionic physiology is like Wonderman heal every time you pay for an event. Yep. You immediately get a partial hit point refund. Yep. Cool. Okay.
That's what you're saying. Yep,
Read the
yep.
article. I thought we sounded so smart, and then they just they had um, if you use the extra resources from Energy Siphon to pay for one of those events, other cards in his kit help you pay and overpay for these events as well, such as his versatile Jet Belt. Alrighty, what does Jet Belt do? Oh my goodness, let's go.
It's a 2-cost upgrade. Item tech traded. I like to see that. Hero resource. Exhaust it to generate an energy resource for an event. Since it's just a 2-cost resource generator to begin with. But it has a second option. Hero resource, exhaust jet belt, and discard a card tucked under Ionic physiology. There's your interaction with the tuck card you're looking for. Generate a mental
But
resource. Okay,
not for
so
an
sorry,
event.
an energy resource.
Yeah.
Okay, I misspoke. There's an energy resource for an event, or you discard a card tucked under you for an energy resource for anything. But you could still use that second option for an event to
Hmm.
make room under Ionic physiology for the new event you might be paying for with this, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, that's kind of cool. I kind of like this.
Yeah, it's nice. It's mental resource, which probably makes good sense. It is tech traded, so you could repurpose it if you wanted to. I probably wouldn't. I don't like repurposing my resource generators unless I absolutely have to. But since he can
I mean, you
bring
could.
repurpose in any
I, ju-
aspect.
hmm. I just want to say quickly, you could spend this resource. Then you could repurpose this for like a
Oh yeah,
game-ending combo, and that would be excellent.
that would be really fun. Um, tech traded upgrade. Always like to think about auto. Yeah,
Yeah, Otto and Jubilee's shopping spree can also look for
yeah,
this as
because
an item.
it is item, so we can go buy a jet belt at the mall apparently because that's where they sell those.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, and having a resource in his kit, access to Quinn Carrier, he is gonna be good. Wonderman's gonna be pretty solid. This is the most expensive card we've seen in the entire deck at 2, and it's the resource
That's
generator.
crazy. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. I do like the flexible option of choosing the lightning resource for an event, which is how I probably see myself using this most of the time. But if you get hit with like an exhaustion or something and you are exhausted, you're full up on your lightning resources, then potentially you use this to pay for an event to clear out your ionic physiology to make some space. But I think I'm probably just using this for the first resource event or generation for the majority of the time.
Agreed.
One of the other things that I just thought about while I was saying all of this is counterpunch. I think counterpunch is kind of interesting here if you lean into
Oh
like a
yeah.
defensive build, because if you can stack your defense events under Ionic Physiology, and they typically will have a lightning resource, giving you +1 attack all the way up to 4 attack, and then you can counterpunch and not discard those cards under your hero. You can counterpunch for 4. That's going to be a 1 effective cost for 4 if you are leaning into the defense strategy, which seems kind of interesting. And then you can use this card to make way for additional spots to heal any damage that does leak through.
Mm-hmm. I think there's potential there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really interesting.
I was just thinking about this jet belt card. An old school resource generator would have been written like the first line, like exhaust the bout, generate an energy resource for an event. And that would have been it. I like that they added like a second bit on it because it doesn't feel like they had to, but it makes it more interesting. And here's the word again, more flexible.
Yep, always more flexible. We have so this is card 13, and can you help me when you say like unique card number? What are you talking about?
So, but where it says 13/16, right below that for jet belt, it says 8. If that makes sense.
That's
So
real
the
tiny.
8
That's
beneath,
real tiny.
it's real tiny. It's real tiny, but that's like unique art designers. That's the 8th unique art design in the set. So that's kind of how you can count. So I can't tell how many energy siphons he's got, but it's going to be 1 or 2, and then the next card there'll be 1 or 2 of that, and then there'll be jet belt is what I can see, because energy siphon is 6. There's a card 7, and then jet belt is 8. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
There's a science to it.
That's cool. We have one more card in his signature kit before we move on to the yellow cards, and his title of Mr. Hollywood. Villain, what does Mr. Hollywood do?
It's not a signature ally like I expected here. Whoever that would be. So 1-cost upgrade. It's got the title trait, resource. Generate an energy resource to overpay for a card. Limit once per card. Doesn't exhaust. That blows my mind.
Silly. Silly.
So he's got 3 copies of Active Altruism, 2 copies of Ionic Blast, and 3 copies of Starstruck. So that's 3 6. That's 8 events of his own that he wants to overpay for. And if he has 2 of those in hand, this 1-cost card has generated him 2 resources of value. But I'm even thinking like you could bring the Ant-Man ally or the Wasp ally, and this would work
Yeah.
for those, and get you
Yeah.
extra hit points on those as well.
That's
And that
sick.
works, I believe. I believe those cards work with Make the Call. If you make the call for Ant-Man, you can still overpay for him because Make the Call asks you to pay his cost. So there's layers to this. This could be used on many times, like with a big like amount of card draw or something, and you get like 3 or 4 of your own cards. This is
Yeah.
big money.
Yeah. Silly. Silly. What bring it. That's lightning as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a situation in which I run get over here and bring it, just 0 cost cards, pulling them in, and being able to draw all my low cost cards, and then just spamming Mr. Hollywood.
Yeah, sure. Seems great. You
Yeah,
can use the aggression side scheme. You have to be an aggression for this or have a player in aggression. But like that can, get everyone at the table an attack event with a boost and boost all their attack events. And he has like 5. So there's potential you draw 2 of those, then keep up the pressure is defeated. You get a third one. They're all doing extra damage, and you pay for them easy.
yeah.
And everyone rejoices except the villain.
Mr. Hollywood is a super interesting card, right? I think this is the only time that we've seen a resource generator that is only used to overpay for a card, which seems very counterintuitive before you understand kind of Wonder Man's entire gimmick. But like,
Yep.
cool. The fact that it doesn't exhaust is bananas to me.
Once per card, but if
Sure.
I've got 6 cards in hand, I mean, they'd have to be the right ones. But like that is feels like a very powerful card for him.
Yeah, once you have Mr. Hollywood, it turns all of your active altruisms into a 0 for 3.
That's good.
Yeah, right? Like, I clear all of the player side schemes pretty much in True Solo with 1 card, 1 resource.
Yeah.
Seems
It's a wild resource, which is interesting, but I'm pretty sure I just play this every time. You'd have to be in a really dire situation not to play this.
Yeah. So yeah, the highest cost card that we saw in the entire kit is his resource generator of Jet Belt at 2. Now we potentially will see higher cost cards as more cards kind of get rolled out. Most notably, we did not see a signature ally, so we may or may not get one of those. We did not see a defense event. We may or may not get some of those. There are cards that we did not see, but I'm thinking that a defense events is not going to be more than 1 cost, especially following kind of the pattern that we've seen with his signature cards. Potentially the signature ally could, but seems like a really low cost curve.
I don't think he has a defense event because we can card count all the events leading into Energy Siphon. There isn't a gap for another event before it becomes a resource card. So I don't think there's a defense event. He could have a defense upgrade, maybe maybe not Bishop's Uniform, but some of that interacts with energy resources that like could be defensive. But I don't think he has a defense event. Signature allies are typically like the number 1 spot, but I think that's Ionic Physiology. It could be snuck in somewhere later, but I don't know if he has a signature ally.
Yeah.
That's my first impressions, at least. They could change up the numbers. I have a suspicion, I can't remember if it was confirmed on our podcast, Shadow of the Cast, but I think we might have a new designer working on this hero, at least partially. It's my impression here, which could mean we're seeing some new ideas here. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Either way, we're definitely seeing new ideas.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's very exciting.
Okay, so just based off of the hero cards that we have seen so far, gut reaction, where are you putting him in a tier list? We have Esteban calling out S. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got so much money. He's got innate self-healing without having to exhaust. He's got damage generation, got 3 copies of a hyper-efficient, hyper-efficient is maybe an exaggeration, but an efficient, hyper-flexible thwarting event. Good damage stuff, some stuns for defense that don't hold him back against steady stalwart because he can just not do it. I think S takes a lot of work, and he doesn't have the trait to support, Web Warrior or X-Men kind of boost you up a tier. But he definitely feels, if he's not in most people's like A tier or above, I would be surprised. You'd have to have like a real Valkyrie level, like obligation slash nemesis or something like that to hold him back is the impression. And we've seen a lot of his kit here. I mean, we can count like the first 10 cards, 11, 12. I think there's only like, yeah, like maybe 3 slots left to see. Maybe like 2 to 3 cards left, I think. So we have a good idea of him right now, and he just seems strong. Oh,
Hmm.
and getting energies from energy events from any aspect, super flexible and potential there is high. Doesn't seem like he wants to go Ultra Ego, boost him up in solo play because he can heal and stun. Seems good.
Yeah, we have. He gives me like the same like vibe as Miss Marvel in the sense that anytime that a new energy resource event is printed, he gets better. Right, Miss
Oh,
Marvel,
absolutely.
we see just continuously gets better because every time an event is played, and Biggin or Shrink just can break it, honestly. And so like Wonder Man, I think can only go up.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's an aerial character that's pretty thematic as
Ah,
well.
nice.
But no, like genuinely, yeah. Any energy resource could be a new consideration for him as an event, but also any other cards that energies get that slight advantage that he could use to help overpay for something. So
Hmm.
any energy card, event or otherwise, is kind of interesting here. It's definitely a hero to maybe revisit in a year or two,
Yeah. Wow.
and just play like immediately.
Wow. Cool. Okay, let's talk about the Justice precon that he's going to come with. So,
Oh man.
wha-
I'm happy with what we got with the hero. This was enough of a preview. I've been really impressed with Wonder.
yeah, yeah, really impressive stuff. So granted, even though Wonder Man may have plenty of tools of his own, it never hurts to have a little help, and that's where his pre-built mostly Justice deck comes in. So we are going to be probably slipping in some lightning from other aspects. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I saw the name. I saw the name of the first card in the paragraph here, and I'm excited for that alone. Uh, yeah.
You want to take a swing at what heroic conditioning probably does for us? Maybe follows a pattern of some other cards that we've seen.
Oh yeah, we've just got aggressive conditioning, defensive conditioning. I think the smart money here is +3 health, +1 fording, right?
Ding, ding, ding! Look at you go. Nice. It does cost 3. The other two that we've seen cost 2. Correct?
I got to think about that. I think the aggressive one does cost 3. I
Okay.
think the defensive one costs less, but that's because armored vest I think costs less. Defense is generally
Hmm.
like valued maybe like a slight bit lower there. Um, so this is still the combined cost of heroic intuition and endurance,
Hmm.
but 1 less overall. Like if you were to play heroic intuition and endurance from your hand, and compare it to playing heroic conditioning, all the resources coming from hand, you would have 1 extra card left in hand with this new card here, which is pretty sweet. And it stacks with heroic intuition and endurance, which is very, very good.
I do like the art here. Hawkeye like running through hitting targets. It reminds me of. Did you ever play like Super Smash Bros. Where like the target practice where you have to like run around and hit all the targets? That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I've played more Smash Bros than you might imagine, and I like to break the targets. Summoning Assault, who's a YouTuber who does like speedrun like histories, did a video on the Smash targets recently. Really recommend that if you like that on a random little side note there.
That's awesome. I did watch a video on a speed run target at one point, but this was probably a year or two ago, so it's I think a different
Right.
video. But yeah, I mean, like I don't quite know if there's too much to say about heroic conditioning. Like we've kind of hashed out a lot of the discussion with the aggression and defense version of this.
I I have a couple of points
Yeah, yeah.
that I
What's
think
up?
this helps with. Already feel like basic fording builds with making an entrance are really good to combo with Overwatch,
Mm,
particularly like big multiplayer where there's lots of threat. This boosts that. Like Overwatch can make this kind of almost like +2 fording in a way,
mm-hmm.
duplicates the bonus. I think we're starting to see a card which helps Brains over Brawn or Brawn over Brains. I forget what it's called. It's not a card we play very often, so little couple of notes there. But in general, yeah, I think we covered a lot of the points when we talked about like aggressive conditioning. It's just good to stack this on characters that already want to fort to have humongous fording. I'm thinking like Cable, Psylocke, all these characters that I really like to basic fort. It could be very nice.
Yeah, and while this is coming in the Wonder Man, I think Wonder Man is gonna really like the aggressive one, just because we have all those cards that interact with his basic attack stat, so being able to pump that up, but also giving the 3 hit points because you're taking damage for his resource card, and probably just taking damage just to the face with the villain attack because you have so much healing. This gives you a little bit higher of a ceiling so that you have a little bit more leeway there as well. So that's nice.
Very cool.
Heroic conditioning, yeah, which can provide him with a boost. Yep. Keeping Wonderman's theme of overpaying for cards, we got Firebird. Firebird is a 2-cost. Woo, we love it. 2-cost ally. 2 thwart, nice. 2 attack with 2 consequential, and 2 health. Aerial Avenger traded. Alrighty, I'm liking it so far. If you
this card could be blank for the rest of this, but a 2-cost like Aerial Avenger Justice is already so useful.
Yes. Yeah. Then, if you overpaid for Firebird, put 1 rebirth counter on her, and as an interrupt, when she would be defeated by consequential damage, we can remove a rebirth counter, heal all damage from her instead.
This feels like a S-tier Justice ally if I'm reading this correctly.
Oh, 100, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Just in terms of power, in terms of fun, this is also really cool. I like the rebirth mechanic, but whatever, like mechanically, very strong and very useful. I've got so many things I want to talk about. I mean, this is a great candidate for power of flight. I'm thinking Falcon takes this. It's aerial. Aerial stuff is kind of useful for like a variety of reasons. Particularly if you can take you can play Justice and take bombs away from aggression. You could exhaust her for that. There's all sorts of stuff. Avenger's good. Smite heroes. Another energy there. Could be 2 attack in a pinch. That's not bad, honestly. I'd rather have honestly kind of think 2 attack and 2 consequential might be better than 1 attack and 1 consequential. Just like the impact if you need it. Comes back to life. So I pay 4 effective resources to make sure I've overpaid by 1. And I've got 8 for removal?
Yeah. And
2, 4 for 2.
If you're running this in Wonderman, you have Mr. Hollywood, which helps overpay. You're running this in Captain Marvel, it's just an energy channel, or not an energy absorption, gets it right off the bat, just like with the 3 energy resources. The other option that you could do is you could thwart, then attack next turn, and then you heal all the damage, so you're not just knocked out. Avenger traded, I think, is really important. I think we could probably see some Voltron potential here as well. Maybe with some multi-aspect stuff. Play team training under Firebird, and you just have 2 thwarting for the rest of the game, pretty much.
Well, you only get 1 rebirth counter on her, right? So she would only have basically she's a 4 hit point ally, is what I'm reading here. With team training, it would be 3. While with reinforced suit, yeah, I mean, I guess everything just gets healed.
It's double,
so
basically.
Whatever you have on her before she's defeated ends up coming back. That's huge. What an interesting card. Maybe stronger than I expected is my first impression without playing it, but very interesting and interactive, which I really like. And my first thought when I saw about overpaying for an ally was Bishop, so it's got resources to spare.
Nice.
But
that's cool.
It's just an option. I mean, you should just put a 3-cost ally in, so maybe that doesn't kind of carry through, but I still like this a lot. Maybe Black Panther always has those vibraniums once you've thinned out his deck. Just feel like this is just a good card.
Very good card. Blank out the text box, still an incredibly good card. 2-cost ally, come in, thwart, chump block. I'm paying. I put that in a deck.
Yeah, it feels like this should be trait locked, but it isn't.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Firebird's impressive. That's also lightning resource, so Mr. Wonderman, Mr. Hollywood himself is going to love it. Wow.
Crazy.
You pay more than a printed cost, allowing her to restore herself to maximum hit points after getting knocked out by consequential damage. Also, I do want to run a Mighty Avengers build with her. I want to run a 2-handed game where I Voltron Firebird on the other side of the table. That just seems good. Wow.
Yeah, I think it seems very good. Even just you could have a leadership player would make the call. Just get her in play more often because she's efficient. I mean, there's better allies for that, really, but it still just has options.
Yeah. Hey Rob, figure out jet belt already. So the difference in the 2 different resource options here is the first one only generates for an event. The second one generates for any card. So you can still use an event, but this is a way that you could use it to pay for like an ally or a upgrade or a support or something like that. Whereas the first hero resource can only be used to pay for an event. Speaking of events, anything. What is the movie? Anything everywhere all at once or whatever?
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
So that is the movie kind of put into a Marvel Champions card. Did you watch that movie?
I haven't. It's on my list to watch.
I started it on an airplane and usually I'll fall asleep and I started falling asleep and I was like, I need to watch this. And so I switched it off and I just never have gotten back around to it. But anywhere, everything, all at once, villain, what are we doing with this X costed card?
This X cost is beautiful. That's like a pay what you want kind of like symbol basically here. We're back to like high school algebra or whatever. See Spectrum in the art. It's got the aerial trait. It's the forwarding card. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. So immediately Angel, Falcon, Nova, 4, kind of all on the radar. There's an energy, which a lot of those like. Hero action, thwart, choose X schemes, remove 2 threat from each chosen scheme, 3 threat instead, if you overpaid for this card. I feel like X is choose how much you pay, so I could make it like a 2 cost, but then pay 3 anyway. That's okay. Okay, that's really complicated but fun, and like it makes sense when you do it, I think.
Yeah, and I think just to like be like, let's talk about the X cost because we do have a question in the chat from Jay Wheel. So the way that I understand X cost cards in Marvel Champions is exactly what you just said. You choose the cost in which you're paying for the card. So if I say this is now a 2 cost card, X becomes 2, and if I pay 3 for it, then I'm hitting the overpay cost. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think with this card, the hero action says choose X schemes. So if I make X2, I can choose 2 schemes. So you pay a resource for each scheme you want, and then if you want to make it 3 threat removal from each instead of 2, you pay an extra one on top of that. So when you play it out in sequence, it will make sense. You set the initial cost at however many schemes you want to target, and then if you want that to be more forwarding from each one, pay on top of that. This card seems very, very good to me at a glance. Just being able to take 3 from basically apart from like the initial cost of the card itself. It's basically 1 threat per resource, but then if you overpay, that all gets a little boost. So I think this card in multiplayer is going to be very popular.
Yeah. Especially with Wonderman, with Mr. Hollywood. Just another way that you can overpay, and it just gets a little silly at that point. Wow. So you could clear. Okay, so that's okay. So this is fascinating. Like it reminds me of a game that I played at Connie Heroes a couple of years ago. Where we played Drang, and at the end of I think turn 2, I think we had like 7 side schemes on the table.
Oh yeah, Drang is like full of side schemes. Like if you take out the Banda Badoon modular set, it's just side schemes, and depending on what mod set goes back in there, it could be even more side schemes. So Drang is like the side scheme king, in all honesty. So this would go really well. Cable's always got schemes out. If you're in multiplayer, there can be play side schemes everywhere, one way or another, and like solo play.
Beautiful.
Just an efficient card. I mean, let me do the maths here. I want to let's just say for 2 side schemes. So I pay 2 resources to the card itself. I'm at 3 effective resources. I could be 4 effective resources for 6 threat removed. So it's kind of like crisis averted level, but for multiple schemes. But I think as you go up in amount of schemes you target, it gets more and more efficient. You can use operative skill. You can use passion for justice to boost this up. You cannot shrink this with Miss Marvel because she's not aerial. I'm trying to think who's got shenanigans, but maybe there isn't. But yeah, if you're hitting, I think as soon as you start to hit 3 schemes with this, it starts to look very efficient. Or if you start to boost it up with like operative.
That's cool. And a lot of the aerial stuff that we've seen before, I'm thinking like Falcon and what's his face?
Angel?
Angel, thank you. Yeah. Like we have benefits for playing aerial cards as well. Same with Wonderman.
Yep.
So like you're getting that on top of it. So for Wonderman, you get the efficient thwarting, pull 3 threat off of 3 different schemes, +1 attack, heal 1. Cool. Yay. Just keeps going.
What I was going to say I like for Angel is that when he's in Archangel form, the cost of the card equals the damage. I have to check if that's printed or not. I'd have to check if it's printed, but my memory says no. But I'll look that up quickly and get back to you. But
Okay.
that's kind of a fun kind of interaction.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really really cool actually. Sick. I like the art here. I like Spectrum getting some love. Um Power of Flight is automatically a double. Power of Flight is a good shout for this as well. Same with Passion. Or not Passion, I'm sorry, Power of Justice. You take it no matter what aspect you choose. That's true, yeah. Wonderman can take this regardless of aspect. That's silly. That's silly.
I have to say, unfortunately for Archangel, it is a printed cost. So
Boo.
this would actually be quite bad there.
You heard it here first. Villain Theory thinks Archangel is bad.
For this card.
Jubilee is gonna love. Does Jubilee get aerial?
No.
Bummer. We need a sky cycle for heroes.
Yeah, like a pair of wings they can flap or something.
Yeah. Dang. Alrighty. It also gets a boost when you overpay for it, potentially removing 3 threat from multiple schemes. Yeah, that's gonna be so freaking good in 4-player. It. Wow. Overwatch it as well, and just combo, passion for justice. It feel okay. How does this fare compared to Even the Odds for you?
Even the Odds is just like the best 4-player Justice card in my mind. I don't think this beats this. I think you would have to. I mean, let's say I've got 3 side schemes out, then and the main scheme. Then I'm hitting like what for this? 12 threat removed, but I can hit those numbers on Even the Odds anyway for like less. So I think in 4-player, Even the Odds is still king, but Even the Odds likes energies. This is an energy. I think you can run them together.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for an aerial flight, and your aerial deck is just dominating the threat removal.
Yeah, this is like even the odds of lower player counts in my mind, potentially. Like
I think you could just run them both in the same deck.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
yeah, absolutely. But in terms of like power, like in a true solo Venom Goblin, right? You have 3 schemes, and now you're just cool. That's no longer an issue.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, wow. A couple of allies with lower printed costs than what their power level would normally suggest. Good. Instead of having a bit more unique price to pay to balance them out. So take Sentry. So Sentry is a 3-cost ally. Good. I'm glad that we're getting the 2 characters that I always confuse in the same pack. That's good. That's what you want for a streamer.
Oh yeah. I said, help you learn the difference.
Yeah, right. They're both aerial as well. Anyways, so 3-cost Justice ally, 2, 3, 5. Holy cow! Alrighty. Forced response. After Sentry enters play, search the encounter deck for a side scheme and reveal it. No side scheme was revealed this way. Play 6 threat on the main scheme. You thought you needed to count side schemes when you played one way or another. Holy cow.
Honestly, in multiplayer, 6 threat in the main scheme is maybe better than a side scheme that scales up to 12, but it will depend. Crazy. I like how this Sentry reflects the aggression Sentry, who also has a downside because he's also got like really high stats. So this feels a bit more fairly priced. I mean, if I'm in solo play and I've got like Skilled Investigator, clear the area, turn the tide, I don't know that getting this side scheme is like the biggest downside that they think it is, because a free attack character with 5 hit points is just 15 damage if you play it out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. We got the Shibi. Cable might like Sentry. It's a very good shout.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's the king of side schemes. This ally seems very, very like high potential. Aerial and Avenger trade again. I really like that.
Yeah. With this as well as Firebird both being Avenger traded really solid allies, I'm finding this 2-handed leadership Justice, Voltroning the Justice allies just to feel real fun. Mighty Avengers makes them a 3/4. Sky Cycle them. Just I don't know, dude. It just seems fun. Like,
yeah, I mean, we've got Manifold, who was the first new Justice Avenger in a long time that came with Shuri's pack. That also that one gets a player side scheme for you. This one just gets a side scheme out of the encounter deck. It feels like Justice Avengers are starting to be side scheme focused, and that might combo with the old not often used card. Command, is it called Command? It's not Command Team. Command Center. The Justice one, which if an ally defeats a side scheme, deals 2 damage.
Yes, I did forget about that. Interesting. So, how do you feel about? Are you running Sentry? From a true solo perspective, yeah, I am.
I think in true solo, I feel like that is a really good shout. Maybe even in 2-player, and I mean even in bigger player counts. I mean, acceleration icons aren't the worst. They don't scale. In fact, they maybe get easier because the main, threat threshold, main team threat threshold is higher. So just drop a Sentry and attack with him. Could pay off pretty decently. Just ignoring that side scheme, maybe. But like definitely like 1-player. I feel like he's in combination with other side scheme like defeating stuff that rewards you, extremely good. I mean, even in multiplayer, if there is a side scheme which doesn't scale per player count and somebody has mission leader in play, just a leadership card where everyone gets to draw a card for defeating a scheme. There are combos here as a tech card for specific scenarios. This could be any player count and be extraordinarily good.
Yeah. True solo, I'm counting those side schemes. I'm making sure that I don't whiff, because like you whiff on one way or another and you feel sad, but you go about your life. You whiff on one way or another with Sentry in a true solo game and you could lose the game, right? I mean, like,
yeah, I wonder if there's a weird world where you're like running like Colossus with great responsibility and you hope for those side scheme. So you play Sentry and then he's going to put the threat in the main scheme and use great responsibility to block it all just for a tough card.
Beautiful.
I don't know if that's a really worthwhile thing, but it's kind of a fun thing that could be done.
Beautiful. I love it so much. Dang. Alrighty, so that is Sentry. Oh, we're getting some additional ones. We got Scarlet Witch. For some reason, I was just assuming these were the only 2 allies that we were going to see. Huh, okay.
You think we're done here?
No. I thought that we would only get preview 2 allies, and then we get, like, upgrades and events, but we have Scarlet Witch. What is Scarlet Witch doing? Oh, Jesus.
She is casting magic by the looks of it. 2 cost, another 2 cost, 2/4 ally.
Bananas.
Wait, 2 cost, 2/4, 2 attack, 3 hit points. Hold on. She's got to have a downside here. So she's got Avenger and Mystic trait. Again, another Avenger in Justice. Feels great. Force response. Here we go. After you play Scarlet Witch, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If it is a treachery card, resolve its when revealed ability. So that's really fun. So she's kind of got that chaos magic element, and also, sometimes she just kind of does bad things. I've also read House of M on my way to reading Civil War, just to put some little like notion out there. So thematically, I feel like this suits her, and as a card, it's really interesting mechanically.
Being in Justice, where you have so much manipulation of the encounter deck, if you just run like global logistics, you can figure out and make sure that you set it up where you're not going to hit this. You run blindfold, you do the same thing. You run Falcon. Nope, that's leadership. Can't do that. But like,
you just play Falcon.
And you have the top card. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And it is discarding. So like in the sense of, if you take it one step further and you are using global logistics or you are using Falcon and there's like fanaticism on the top of your deck, now you're just discarding it. Or universal weapon, which gets revealed on a boost card. Like, this is a way to dodge some of those encounter cards that get revealed on boost, so you can't miss it. You just discard it now.
Yeah.
So you're able to just get rid of it. That's really cool. 2/2/3 is bananas.
2/3 is really good. I was thinking Spider-Woman can look at the top card of a deck. This is good for her. What else did I have? Oh, Gambit, his alter ego ability. If you're not running an X-Men deck, maybe your buddy's taking those allies who are trying to do something unusual, which I think is really fun. He can look at that. The Gambit ally can do that too, actually. So there's a few things that can be done here. I think even the Falcon ally was a good shout in like multiplayer, if it lines up. And you honestly probably have at least 50% odds in most scenarios to just not get the bad ending anyway.
Yeah.
Or if you're Silk, you can tuck the revealed card.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to check the wording on Silk, but there's potential there.
That's cool.
When treacheries happen, you tend to get them. After you resolve a treachery, okay, you don't resolve the treachery, you resolve it when revealed. I wonder if that's different here. Resolving
I think
when
so.
revealed to resolving a full treachery. So maybe not Silk, but regardless, very cool.
For spiders, Madam Web can scry it. Really good shout there.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I like the Mystic trait here. Mystic and Avenger trait is really interesting for a Rogue build because I love Rogue and Justice. Being able to get her that Mystic trait on an ally that's easy to get out and pretty easy to keep around for a couple of turns to get like the Sorcerer Supreme or something like that to put that onto the table. Plus, you get all the Avenger
Yep.
trait stuff. Seems pretty solid. I think we have some Mystic traded allies, but not a ton.
We have Kalu in leadership. We have Brother Voodoo and Clear in protection. We also have Adam Warlock in leadership. We have Magic and Aggression. But in Justice, I don't know that we have one in Justice. We have Wicked, who should have Mystic but doesn't. So I feel like this is a first for Justice, which is really cool.
The other thing, who said it? J Wheel. We need a Scarlet Witch ally. I do believe that this is one. Scarlet Witch was one of the very few heroes that we had in the game that we did not have a non-signature ally for.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
I think
'Cause we've got
Strange is the
Quicksilver
other
who
one.
has her, but yeah, we don't have a Strange outside of the. We don't have a Strange ally at all. I don't think actually.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Don't have a Strange, and we don't
But,
have a. We do have a Quicksilver in Justice, right?
mhm. Yeah.
Maybe.
That's no, we have speed.
Speed.
We don't have Quicksilver as a non-signature. What I'm just noticing about the Scarlet Witch one, this new one, is after you play her. So if your buddy uses Make the Call or your Spider Woman and can have her, you just ignore the false response anyway. So whatever.
Nice, nice. Wow. Seems like a pretty good precon. I'm not gonna lie to you here. This seems pretty solid.
I mean, what have we got? We got Heroic Conditioning. That for me is like an S plus deck building card, just for like options. Firebird, maybe an S plus power card,
Yeah.
but also good for deck building because of all the stuff, the traits, everywhere, all at once. Very aerial focused, but still a good card for that. Maybe that's the most niche, but still very interesting. Sentry, maybe more niche for like lower player counts, but you can use it at higher. I mean, he's very interesting and good stats. And Scarlet Witch, very interesting, good stats. Scary ability, but I like it. I like the kind of risk element with Sentry and Scarlet Witch too. I mean, those cards. One of my favorite cards in the game is the Hulk Aggression Ally. Kind of like this.
Nice. Those are the
really good precon.
Yeah, and those are the Justice cards in the precon. But we are getting a couple of other cards in the precon from other aspects because of Wonderman's deck building abilities. So, like,
tell me more.
So, with out of aspect events, it's only fitting that we include some non-Justice cards in there as well. The protection event Stronger Together, which is a 0 cost, because of course it is, 0 cost lightning hero interrupt. When a character other than your hero would take any amount of damage, if that character shares a trait with your hero, reduce that damage by your defense.
This feels very good.
Yes. This feels phenomenal in multiplayer.
I mean, let's just say I've got 4 defense because I'm a 3 defense hero with armored vest or something. I feel that's very achievable. This is just 0 cost, prevent 4 damage. I mean, against many villains, particularly on standard, that's a tough card. That's a 0 cost tough card. I don't exhaust, right? When a character that isn't my hero takes an amount of damage, as long as you got the same trait, yeah, this is just 0 cost, almost a 0 cost rating in a way. It's interesting that I think in Hulkling's precon, we got revealed like a card that's kind of similar to this, but I feel like this one is just better. It's just trait restricted. But this could be really good for like X-Men team ups or Avenger team ups. But you have to like it's still interested with the team up, but it can work for different teams. Like and then just in solo play, obviously this blocks like consequential damage for an ally or something potentially too. Because it's a character. So I feel like that's gotta have a lot of potential.
It seems good. This also will heal Wonderman. So
oh nice.
So there's
also
that.
gives him +1 attack.
Yep. So that seems good. I also love the fact that we have yet another card with Daredevil in its art, and still no Daredevil announcement.
Say that.
Yep, of course.
I knew it. I knew. Yeah, I agree. Where's Daredevil? Daredevil art. Daredevil art's taking over the game. But it's still kind of cool art, I guess. Here, I mean, I see Daredevil, and I see other Daredevil, Elektra Daredevil. Characters with the same trait. Is this a hint that we might get? Daredevil characters that could have the same trait to use this? Fingers crossed. I have no idea. Wishful thinking, but I mean, they're using two Daredevil characters as an example of characters that share a trait. This feels much more than a random Justice card just having Daredevil out on it. I'm not crazy there, right? They've shown two characters.
Yeah.
I meant to share a trait.
Yeah. Um, Not defense traded, which is a little sad, but I mean, it still just feels like a really, really solid card for a deck that wants to protect the entire table. Because like
Yeah, for
on
the
a
right
lot
hero.
of the you sit there, you can get 4 to 6 defense fairly easily with all the cards that we have in the pool now, and it's just like, okay, sick, 0 cost, you don't die. That's nice. They do have to share the trait, which is could be. It's good if you know what you are going into pre-game, but if you're looking at like a Con of Heroes or an MCDC situation, this is potentially more of a sideboard card that I would put in there. Like if I'm running an Avenger and I sit down and I'm playing with all X-Men, probably not going to be playing this card.
My mind has just gone to like Protection Nightcrawler in a coordinated 4-person X-Men team. He's got 4 defense with Cutlass, 5 with Armored Vest, 6 with the new conditioning card, and this is just a 0 cost tough card at that point. I take 3 of those and I have a great time.
Yep, absolutely.
Is this a Ghost Spider card because it's a hero interrupt here? I think this could be a really good Ghost Spider card.
Yes, that is phenomenal. Yes, 100%.
Like, for her specifically, like for her options, if I were to rank them, this could be like an S tier as my thinking on this for multiplayer. Very cool. Well, it would have to be with Web Warrior heroes, but still.
Well, so now what you do for Con of Heroes or MCDC, what you do is you bring all the honorary cards, and whoever's sitting at the table, you just pass them out to their deck. So now, like, you run Honorary Avenger for me, and now I can play Stronger Together on you, even as a Ghost player.
Though.
Yeah.
I'm protecting with this card, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm who's got good defense? I'm Groot. I'm making everyone an honorary guardian. They just hear me calling them I am Groot, but I am making them a guardian as I say that to them. That's beautiful.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that seems solid.
Yep. Good card is good.
Good card is good. Alrighty, Stronger Together. Let's see, use his defense stat. Yeah, what's up?
I want to walk back to Stronger Together just very, very briefly. I still think this is efficient. If I stop a really good ally taking 1 consequential damage just for a 0 cost card, I'm happy with that.
You can also prevent consequential.
Yeah, that's what I'm
okay.
thinking.
Yeah.
There's better options for it, like, but it's still usable. And if it's double consequential, it's particularly good.
That's super interesting. You run this alongside like Energy Shield. Like you're starting to get some like Voltron potential. I don't know if we have like great targets for Voltron allies in green quite yet, but like we're starting to get some like a unique way to like have your allies kind of not ever die.
Yeah. We'll have to see what comes out. But I mean, this is even just a card that will age well in the future with more characters for the Avengers, which we seem to be getting. Like presumably the next precon might have some as well.
Rogue is great to Voltron. That's a great shout. That's a great shout, Clash. Yeah.
The cool thing about Rogue is that she can touch somebody to get the trait, no matter what you're playing.
Yep. Oh, that's cool. That's a fun interaction. I like it. Walt had a question. Are you allowed to tuck a card under Ionic Physiology even if you are at full health? Yes, you are, because it's not part of the cost to heal. So you can still tuck that card under Ionic, even if it's your full health.
I'm trying to think what the new rules are, because healing is not a cost, but it's the only result of doing so. So I feel like if it's not doing anything, if maybe you don't have a valid target to heal, they use valid target in the new rules, right? And if you can't be healed, maybe you actually can't trigger that response. I need to look into it. The game's complicated. Maybe someone in chat has like a definitive answer.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a chance that actually doesn't work. It's like you can't recover if you're at full health anymore in the rules, and I feel like this might be the same.
Yeah. Also, Shibi, great shout. Wonderman doesn't need to be in green to use it for Voltron.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And there's not a limit. Like you see with Gamora, it's like there's a limit. You can only have 6 out of aspect cards. You can run 1 aggression and 24 green cards if you wanted to, if they all have the lightning events. They're all lightning events. You can just do that.
I wonder if the aggression enraged card, which makes your allies take more consequential damage but deal a lot more actual damage, could be worth it here. It depends. Like if I see my stronger togethers in my like opening hand and then I play my ally and want to enrage it, it wouldn't line up well, but it's got potential. It's definitely got like potential.
That's super interesting.
You know what?
What's up?
I'm just thinking this card in multiplayer could get really interesting if you have like multiple multi-aspect or like someone protecting someone Wonderman and you all have stronger together. That could be a really interesting way to consistently keep a really key ally that maybe multiple decks build up alive as well. Just like random weird stuff, but it's cool that it allows for it.
Yeah. We're getting the Bombs Away reprint here. I like the art on this one, but this is the 2 cost.
I like the art for it, but it says Bombs Away, but I'm actually just seeing a whole bunch of Iron Man.
Yep. I think they're all about to self-destruct.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
This was one that came to us in a different aerial card, but you can.
I think this was Angel's Precon. I think it might have been at the back of Angel's pack.
Got it. So aerial tactic, exhaust an aerial character you control, choose a player, deal 3 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player. We had talked about using this along the side of like get over here for Wonderman, just being able to pull all the minions, heal a ton, and then get a lot of attacks and then blow them up with Bombs Away. And so we're going to be able to do that just in the precon here, which is pretty cool. Well, not the get over here part, but yeah. That's Bombs Away.
Like that. I mean, I think this is one of the heroes I'm most excited for Bombs Away with.
Yeah. The next and last card of the article that we're going to see is Unified Strike. Villain, what is Unified Strike with potentially one of the best artworks in the entire game? What does this card do?
If somebody showed me this art and didn't explain it, I'd be like, oh, there's new art for Fastball Special.
Yep.
This is now like the Fast Vision Special. Immediately, I see 0 cost event, just like Stronger Together, and I'm already thinking good things. Tactic, I'm thinking Cyclops. Hero Interrupt. When an ally uses a basic power, exhaust your hero, add your hero's matching power to that ally's power for this use. The ally does not take This card is so good.
This card is silly good. Here? Dust is stupid.
Dust, what immediately came to my mind is a new 2-gun kid ally.
Yeah.
You protecting him while doubling your hero's stats where it's going out. And we're going back full circle because I was starting to think Wonderman, talked about that brute force build with like quick strike, wanting to not actually attack with your hero. But then I was like, oh, he's got stuff. He's going to want to keep playing these aerial events. He's going to want a basic attack to clear out his Ionic physiology. But this one, if you have like Wonderman in aggression, he can bring this from leadership because it's energy, stack up a huge attack, and then use it through his allies. It's reverse teamwork in a weird way, but also protects consequential damage, which I guess teamwork does too. I think I like this. I think I like the potential to combo this with allies. I kind of need to look at a whole list of allies and see how many crazy combos there are. But the aggression ones we've mentioned are already very good.
Yeah, just the fact that it also gets around stunned. Like if your hero is stunned, now you can still use your attack power here. You don't have to figure out how to get rid of, especially if you are at like 6 attack and you're like, well, that's not good. Unified Strike, just throw it in there. But yeah, I mean, just like a Dust, just seems it attacks everything on the table. And yeah, you're just okay, cool. Now it's a +4 attack and Dust clears everything. Cool.
Dust is that's gonna be very, very good.
Okay, here we go. Is Dust X-Men locked?
I don't think she is. I've got her on screen now. Nope.
Okay. So you run leadership, make the call Dust, or get Dust out somehow. Laser Blaster to give her overkill. Unified Strike. Destroy Ultron.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just bringing Wonderman and aggression, and my buddy is maybe running, I don't know, Star-Lord with a Guardians deck. He's just gonna sling a laser blaster over while I've got Enraged Dust going crazy, and I've got 3 copies of Unified Strike. But of course, my buddy, hold up, my buddy Star-Lord here, maybe in a leadership, maybe he's bought Wonderman's pack and has 3 copies of Unified Strike too. When an ally uses a basic power, you don't have to control it.
Yep.
2 heroes, Unified Strike, 1 dust activation here, and explode every enemy.
That's kind
Well,
of
every minion.
cool. That's kind of cool. It is not an ally you control, which is fascinating.
That suddenly makes this a really good multiplayer card.
Yeah.
I do think to get full value out of this, you need like particularly good allies or a reason not to maybe want to use your hero for that purpose. But there's already a couple out there that we've named. I'm sure there's probably a couple more if we look through the whole list.
It's.
Figure out some other things.
I mean, like it's not. It's not necessary. I don't know, because it prevents the consequential. I think. Like it's like it's a one resource. It's like Adam Warlock's like heal, right? Like it's one resource to heal an ally basically. So it's like I don't think you need something super crazy. You just want something that is not wanting to leave play. And then also with Wonderman, you're not losing your cards. We had chat call out. Raymond says She-Hulk now doesn't lose superhuman strength. Stuff like that, right? Like things that fall off. Like there's a lot of like really interactions there. Yeah.
That She-Hulk interaction is a great one because this to me, this card is reverse teamwork, where an ally boosts your stat. It's anywhere teamwork is good. This could be good, unless you like your hero needs to be the one doing it. I don't know, but I'm excited by this card, and like the aggression use in multiplayer seems like the big thing that's standing out to my mind.
Or Dum Dum. If you're gonna run Dum Dum outside of Shield and just not have him take 3 consequential now.
Oh, that's nice. The double consequential block is going to be especially good too.
Yeah, because we
almost like first aid in that respect.
That's cool. That's really cool. Blazing, how does dust work with overkill? I was in my hypothetical situation that I had set up. I had another player play Honorary Guardian, then Laser Blaster on her. Probably does not really work in practice, but I thought it'd be fun.
I think once you set that combo up, you just solve minions forever.
Yeah,
And the
that's
overkill
true.
does work. Yeah, it just works.
Wow. Okay, so that's also a fairly inexpensive precon. Now, we do have some of the phantom cost of like finding side schemes and stuff with some of the allies, but still, like, I think the highest cost card here is a 3 with Heroic Conditioning and Sentry, and I guess the X cost of Everywhere All at Once can be anything that you want it to be. But like very low cost curve, very flexible precon. I think right off the bat, he's going to be able to hold his own pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderman seems strong. Precon seems strong. There's a little bit of randomness. Like I could see in the wrong matchup, like Scarlet Witch and Sentry cause you a problem, but most of the time, probably fine. And if you deck build specifically, great cards.
Yeah. The sad sentence here at the bottom of the page is that we are getting this pack in February. So that is
what?
That is a while away. So it looks like we are going to go October to February without No, we'll have Synthesoid Smackdown at some point.
Okay, that I forgot about. I genuinely forgot about Synthesoid Smackdown. So that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And they have had delays on Civil War, so Synthesoid Smackdown presumably delayed. This is probably accounting for that. But what a good February we're all going to have.
Yeah. And I assume that this will be released alongside the other hero if we are continuing with the 2 heroes every other month release cadence, which I think we believe is going to be Hercules. But I wonder if we're getting Hercules next week. What's up? Sorry.
The big issue is Hercules has a tough act to follow now, in my opinion, because this hero looks super fun. And these aspect cards are all super interesting. And he got multi-aspect stuff. So, like, how is Hercules going to compete with this?
Yeah. Also, he feels like a weird hero to pair with what I envision a Hercules character to play like. Because he feels like, I don't know, he feels pretty punchy already. And so,
I mean, there's a chance that Hercules is like a physical resource hero.
True.
But he definitely had like a he popped up in the Civil War book quite a bit.
Okay. Okay.
So
That would be interesting if we get a physical version of the same thing. That would break me, I think, in that first like stream, just trying to figure out some like deck builds and everything. But I'd be here for it.
I think he would have maybe something slightly different, but there could be something.
Hmm.
We'll
Any
see. We'll see.
yeah. Any last thoughts? Any concerns that you have with Wonder Man? I guess.
I mean, look, we've got so many characters that are super, super, super powerful. Like, there's several super powerful ones that getting a hero that's clearly not going to be, in my opinion, in the bottom half of the tier list. Like, it's fine. We'll have to see how strong he is. But I don't think the power concerns me. But that was the first thing that came to mind when you mentioned it. In terms of gameplay, I feel like he'll be smooth. I feel like he'll, we've used the word flexible so much. He's going to be fine. So I don't have any, like, power concerns. And interestingly, I feel like the Agents of Shield wave, almost every hero was better in multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
This guy seems just like a really good. I think he'll be just as good in multiplayer, but like particularly like solo friendly, which I think is nice.
Yeah.
So some general thoughts. Do you have any concerns?
No, not necessarily. There wasn't anything that I saw that I think he's gonna struggle with. I mean, he has really good thwarting cards. He has healing in his kit. He has really good attack cards, and the fact that he can bring off aspect cards to solve any problems that he may have, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think like, if you push the difficulty and expert Ronan, maybe if a hard mod set even added in, like it's punching you. Maybe his little one healing per event won't keep up, but like that's not a big deal, and you can block in other ways and deck build for it.
Yeah.
Like it just seems good. He just seems like he's got everything covered. 3 copies of a really flexible thwarting event.
So
that's
good.
the first thing we really covered, but it was worth mentioning again.
And he still has a 2 thwart stat, which
Yeah,
you'll
that's nice.
probably be using for a while if you are trying to build up to the 4 attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think some builds will have a lot of cheap energies and get this sooner, but some might not. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of times where you're able to use that 2 thwarting, which is really nice.
Yeah. The Rob in chat says that on the next hero, interesting thing to note, Wonderman's silhouette background was colored yellow for the Justice Precon, and Hercules is colored red, so we're kind of speculating that we're going to get an aggression Hercules Precon.
I was expecting leadership, I mean, because we're getting aggression Tigra, and then we don't have a leadership in this like cluster of 4. But I think aggression suits him. He's an aggression ally already in the game. He's very aggressive in what I've read in the comics too. So yeah, maybe we are getting him an aggression. But I hope there's some back of the pack like leadership stuff or something.
Oh, it says yeah. Chat also thinks maybe leadership as well. Cool stuff.
I think it could be either.
Yeah. Dude, right now,
if he turns out to be in the pool aspect,
yes, that's it. That's what's gonna happen. Right now, February feels like forever away. Like it doesn't even like February is not even on my radar at this point. It's like that's kind of wild.
But you have to realize what happens once we do finally get Civil War is that we're gonna take all our old heroes and play them in PvP mode, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Occupy the time.
Oh my gosh, dang, cool. So we have this month, hopefully for everyone. I think I saw a chat that said that somebody had Civil War pushed back to November in their country, which is really sad. But we should get Civil War, Synthesoid Smackdown. What do you think Synthesoid Smackdown is going to land? I'm guessing not December. My guess would be January.
I couldn't tell you. I mean, it might be that one product is backed up and the other one's still on time and they arrive like closer together. I know in the UK I've had that happen with a few of our delays, but not like many of them. I think it could vary by territory. I got no idea at this point. Vision's a sneaky guy. He can phase through stuff. You never know.
Civil War was pushed back until the holidays for Canada. Dang. Wow.
I know someone in Canada hasn't got Tricks to Takeover yet, and I feel like we had a limited amount in the UK. Luckily, I got one. Been enjoying that. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Dang.
Some random guy halfway around the world is probably going to get it tomorrow.
Yep.
No one else.
Yep. We'll have the spoils online. Sweet. Well, y'all, thanks so much for hanging out and going through the article with us. It was as the, let me just pull this down. How do I do that? Webpage. Simply Wonderful is the title of the article. And absolutely, I mean, like, he seems really cool. I'm pumped to play him some more and kind of think about, because like there's going to be so many different things with overpaying as well as the off aspect deck building that there's just so much depth to this hero. So pretty excited about that. Villain, can you tell everyone where they can find you and what you're doing these days before we log off?
Yeah. So you can find me on YouTube still. I've still got a couple of videos to go. I've got maybe like 3, 4 coming up. Just posted one about the Marvel Cosmic Invasion demo. It's a video game. Actually really fun though. So if you like video games and Marvel, check that out. But yeah, I'm on YouTube, Villain Theory. I'm around, and this was fun.
Nice. Super happy. Thanks all for hanging out. And we will see you next time, which potentially could be next week if we get another article. My guess is going to be a couple weeks, but fingers crossed. See you around.
Fingers crossed.
Peace.
Bye.